Hello, and welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be discussing a little bit more of a serious topic than you've seen in my past videos, and that is one of conversion therapy and the fact that it's still practiced today in British Columbia. The BC legislature reconvenes October 7th, and it's time that we start talking about the issues that really matter with our legislators. One of the issues that matters most to me is banning conversion therapy. Now, this is something that needs to be done at a national level, but earlier this year, Trudeau said that he was not going to ban conversion therapy, and that was something that he wanted the provinces to do. Now, since then, he said that he will in fact look into banning conversion therapy, but we have an election on our hands. So this is an issue that's not going to be dealt with until after the election. If Trudeau's elected, he will look into it. If Scheer is elected, well, the chances of us getting a ban on conversion therapy are slim to none. In the meantime, the BC Green Party has put forward legislation to ban conversion therapy here in British Columbia. And that is extremely important because it means that LGBTQ2+ people that are living here in BC are not going to have to endure this torture any longer than they already have if this legislation passes. The right to express your gender identity or sexual orientation freely should be a non-partisan issue, and that's why when the BC Green Party put forward this legislation, they said that they would be willing to work with all other parties, the BC Liberals and the BC NDP, in order to make sure this passes. Now, that could be in the form of one of the parties putting forward legislation of their own, and BC Greens voting in favor of it, or it could be in terms of a simple amendment to the proposed legislation that the BC Green Party has put forward. The important thing here is simply that conversion therapy gets banned. That's ultimately the goal here. That's why this should really be a non-partisan issue. You would think in BC, in this day and age, it would be a non-controversial matter to say we should stop torturing LGBTQ2+ people. Unfortunately, it seems that's not the case. Despite calls for non-partisan cooperation, the BC NDP are choosing to politicize this issue, while the BC Liberals are remaining silent. The NDP are arguing that conversion therapy cannot be billed to our medical system, and that these are changes that should be done federally through the criminal code. And I think that's an extremely important step to take. However, it's important that we address this provincially. Now, despite the fact that you can't bill conversion therapy to our medical system, it is still being practiced here, and that's what the proposed legislation aims to address. It aims to address people who are participating in conversion therapy outside of the medical system, and also medical professionals that are billing this as some other form of therapy. What is strange about all of this is that the line of reasoning the NDP are using to state that they do not want to support this legislation is the same line of reasoning the BC Liberals used against the NDP when the NDP were trying to add gender identity and gender expression as protected grounds under the BC Human Rights Code. And incidentally, in that case, the BC Greens supported the NDP, they worked collaboratively, and in the end, thanks to a change of heart with the BC Liberals, this was able to pass with all party support. That's what I'm hoping to see here. I'm hoping that what we're going to see is MLAs coming together and saying conversion therapy is bad, we're going to ban it, it's not going to be perfect, but we're going to do something until the federal government steps in and makes a move of their own. I've contacted my MLA, as well as other MLAs within the party, and unfortunately the response is consistently the same. They give the same canned response stating that conversion therapy can't be billed through our medical system and therefore we don't need to take action. This is not how you would expect a government to deal with the concerns of their constituents, especially concerns that relate to the torture of British Columbians. I mean, these are serious issues that need to be dealt with right away. And it's taken far too long. There are many opportunities when this could have happened in the past, but we're dealing with it now, and we can't let this go on for a second longer. It seems that the NDP are waiting for this issue to disappear. I, for one, am not going to forget about this, and I know I'm not the only person that is concerned about British Columbians being tortured. People's gender identity, people's sexual orientation doesn't change. Torturing them is not helping, it's harming individuals. You can go and read testaments from people who've been through this. It's excruciating. It's difficult on them, difficult on their families, difficult in terms of dealing with trauma for the rest of their lives. And we have the power to put an end to it. If you feel as I do that conversion therapy is wrong and needs to be banned in our province, make sure to reach out to your MLA. Make sure that this stays on their radar and make sure that they can't avoid bringing this up in the fall legislature session. Ask your MLA to vote in favor of a ban on conversion therapy this fall.